Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mikey, intern Ned Reynolds in the studio. It's Tuesday morning, so you played baseball. You're a superstitious guy. At what point do you even let the phrase no come into your mind? You're in a game, your pitcher's out there, you're watching what's going on. How do you feel? You're at 6, 7, 8? Not at all?
If you don't tell the dugout or your other players or anything like that. In the case of the Arkansas Razorbacks yesterday against Murray State, the bat boy mentioned it in the ninth inning, but hey, it was fine. This kid was so totally overwhelming on the hill. His name is Gage Woods, and it's the first no-hitter in World Series. This is College World Series we're talking about, in 65 years.
There's only been
65 years. 3 altogether. The other 2 were before 1960. And here's this kid out there firing away. He is one of Arkansas's better pitchers, no question about that. He's only a junior, and he theoretically could come back next year, probably will not. But he was so overwhelming, 19 strikeouts. Now keep in mind, this is Murray State from the Missouri Valley Conference. They're the champions of the league in which the Bears were members for 34 years. But they're good. That's a good team. They can hit the ball, and they proved that. Beat Ole Miss, beat Duke, but couldn't beat Arkansas yesterday with 19 strikeouts. And that is really a remarkable circumstance. Arkansas wins the game 3-0, and Murray State goes home with consecutive losses. But that's not any kind of a black mark on their schedule. They had a very good baseball team and probably will next year, although the Bears will have nothing to do with it next year since they'll be in a different league. Now, the second game last night, LSU-UCLA, the battle of the acronyms. LSU had a 5-3 lead, and they were in the third inning rain, and they had a torrential thunderstorm, and that halted the game. NCAA said, okay, we're postponing for the rest of the night. We will resume tomorrow morning. That means today at 10 a.m. So the second game still to be played. There will be 3 games up in Omaha today, this morning, this afternoon, and tonight when the Razorbacks play again. But last night, actually yesterday afternoon, all Arkansas with a 3-0 win and a no-hitter for Gage Woods, who was just simply phenomenal.
A no going. He almost threw a perfect game on top of that. And you also have to throw in the fact that these kids are using aluminum bats. Man, that's just, it's mind-blowing what he did.
Except that the aluminum bat has to make contact.
Well, that's true. That's true. Very true. So, speaking of hot action, yesterday, do we feel like the pendulum has swung the other direction in the NBA Finals?
Well, Oklahoma City was favored, and I picked the Oklahoma City to win by 6, and I'll stick with that prediction. Oklahoma City came away with a 120-109 win over the Indiana Pacers. The difference between these teams is that Oklahoma City is power. They're very strong. They're very big. And Indiana is more of a finesse team with Tyrese Halliburton. But stop right there, because Tyrese Halliburton is injured. Has a bad leg, scored only 4 points last night. That's all, only 4. He's their leading scorer. Pascal Siakam had 28, and he's a good ball player, but he can't carry the team. So unless Tyrese Halliburton has a remarkable recovery by Thursday night when they play in Indianapolis, Oklahoma City looks in pretty good shape.
They absolutely do, and we'll see what happens. Go Thunder. All right. We got the Stanley Cup going back on it tonight.
It is tonight. The Florida Panthers can hoist the Stanley Cup when they take the ice at the Sunrise Arena, which is just outside Miami. So they have that ability to be able to hoist that cup. Florida leads 3-2. It's a best-of-7 series, and they can hoist it on high when they take on the Edmonton Oilers, and I predict that they will. I can't see Edmonton coming from back. Edmonton was down 3-0 in one of the earlier games and came back to win it in overtime, but that was then. This is now. I think Florida's ready for another Stanley Cup. They are the defending champions. I look for them to hoist that cup again tonight.
Man, it's just crazy to me that they've been, at least that state in the last 5-10 years has been so dominant in the hockey league. It's just incredible to me. Anyway, so both the Cardinals and Royals had the day off yesterday. Where are they at today?
The Cardinals are in Chicago. They're on the south side of Chicago to take on the White Sox in a 3-game series, and a terrific chance now for the Cardinals to get well. They have lost 7 of their last 8 games. I do not see them losing 3 games in Chicago against the White Sox, who are probably a little bit better from what they were last year, but still not in the powerhouse category in one single respect. So I do look for the Cardinals to get well, and maybe if they can take 2 out of 3 from the White Sox, that'd be great. Their big series, they being the Cardinals, comes up the latter part of next week when the Chicago Cubs come into St. Louis to play. Cubs are the leaders in the National League Central Division, and that's who the Cardinals are chasing right now. So Cardinals and the White Sox, they play at Rate Field. That's what they call the old Comiskey Park in Chicago now, Rate Field, and that'll be tonight. Kansas City is down in Texas. The Kansas City Royals have fallen on evil days. They are below 500. They've lost their last 6. All 6 of their home games they lost. They lost to the Yankees and they lost to the Athletics. It's just not good. They're not playing together. The Royals are a much better team as to what they are showing right now, but hey, they've got to put it together. And the Rangers are pretty good. So it'll be the Royals and the Rangers in Arlington, Texas. And then the Springfield Cardinals, who are blowing everybody away in the Texas League Northern Division and in the Texas League period, are home taking on the Corpus Christi Hooks in a 6-game series that begins tonight. Corpus Christi is the AA farm club of the Houston Astros. So we'll see what Springfield has to offer, and I think it'll probably be a pretty good show.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. It's been about 2 years since Ohtani was at the mound. How'd he do in his first pitching debut?
The Dodgers allowed him to pitch 1 inning. He opened the game. Of course, the crowd is huge. They're rooting him on. It was not what you'd call an auspicious performance. He threw 28 pitches, 16 of which were strikes, but Ohtani also allowed hits to the first 2 batters. Of course, San Diego Padres are a pretty good team. They're not to be trifled with. And San Diego took a very early 1-0 lead on a first-inning sacrifice fly. All in all, not a great performance by Ohtani in the first inning, but it's also his first game back. Give the guy a break. So he plays the rest of the game as a designated hitter, and the Dodgers win it, and he has an RBI single in that game. So he more than earns his living. The guy's the MVP, great player, going to try pitching. He'll get a little bit better on the mound. We'll find out how much, but the bottom line is the win. Dodgers win at 6-3.
So obviously you and I agreed the trade that the Red Sox made over the weekend was not a great move, a lot like what the Dallas Mavericks did in the regular season of the NBA this year. But I digress. Is the rest of the world agreeing with us too?
They agree that the Red Sox blew the whole situation. They agree that the Red Sox need to rethink what they're doing. They've traded off any number of superstars. One of them played last night, Mookie Betts, for the Los Angeles Dodgers. So those former Red Sox stars are out there in Major League Baseball, and now Rafael Devers is one of them, playing for the San Francisco Giants. Okay, the Red Sox did play last night, and they played one of the better teams in baseball, the Seattle Mariners, out in the state of Washington, and the Red Sox win it 2-0. So who takes Rafael Devers' place? Can anybody take his place? Guy has 15 home runs, batting .279, has over almost 60 RBIs on the season, and is a hero in Boston no longer. But the fact is, who took his place? Well, a guy named Kristen Campbell, who the Red Sox have brought up from their farm team. This guy has only been with the organization for about a year and a half. Well, nonetheless, the criticism is forthcoming. The Red Sox insist that they have not thrown in the white flag for this season, but when you let go of your superstar like this, and a guy who's pretty popular with his teammates and around the league, that certainly is a shaky move, to say the very least.
It is, and it makes you wonder who's really running things for that organization, Ned. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow.